Hi everyone, welcome back to my floss tube. My name is Rachel, this is Lemonade Stitching, and today I'm giving you a cross stitch house tour. So today is another installment of my 2024 FLOSSMAS series, which are just a bunch of really fun floss tube extras showing you all kinds of things about my cross stitching. So like I said, today is a house tour, so I'm going to show you the cross stitch I have in my home, how I style it, how it decorates my house, and all that jazz. This shouldn't be too long because obviously I haven't been cross stitching for that long, so I don't have too much. But I do have a number of pieces kind of scattered throughout, and I thought it'd be fun to just kind of show you what I've got actually displayed. So the first location that I'm going to be showing you is here in the kitchen at the coffee bar. So on these folding shelves, I like to do a mix of decor items and useful coffee things, because after all, this is my coffee bar that I use every single day. But the project that I have displayed here is Autumn's Glow. So I like to put this up from about September, probably till end of February or March. Because it's wintry but also fall, so it doesn't have to be just one or the other, I don't think. And I like to style it with some green and gold decor that I've picked up over the last few months. Don't pay attention to the fact that there's no picture in the picture frame. It doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about it. But I think this looks really nice just leaned against the wall instead of actually hung. I like the layered look that it gives, and I just love this piece so much. Every time I'm in here eating dinner, I love looking at this piece, and I'm gonna be sad when summer rolls around and it has to go away. So I'll have to find a project to replace it, so that I always have something about this size up here on display. The next stop on the tour is the other side of the dining room. So this is kind of the opposite corner from where the coffee bar is, and this is where I like to display my girl in white dress watercolor lighthouse full coverage piece that I did a couple of years ago. This was shown in my very first floss tube, and it was actually the very first piece of art that I hung up in this house when we moved in. I wanted it up right away. It was like my only fully finished piece that I had at the time, so I picked this spot directly across from our window so it would get all the beautiful light. We'd see it whenever we're in the dining room, and it's just stunning. It doesn't match the aesthetic, but I also don't really care because I made it. So it's got the gorgeous dark brown frame, which does match with my decor and my preferences, but this is the only like nautical thing in the house. It's not my normal go-to decor theme, but it needed to be hung up. It's too pretty to not hang up. The next stop on the tour is the kitchen. Please pardon the horrible lighting that we're working with. I'll try to make this quick so you don't have to watch it for too long. But on my fridge, I have one piece that is a little magnet, and it's supposed to be at work. I don't know why it's not there. Hopefully it goes back in January, but this is the Crochet A Go-Go monthly finish that I did last December, and it's just finished on mat board with magnets. It was supposed to be to decorate my desk at work, but somehow it's ended up at the house. So this might go back to work in January, might stay on the fridge. It's too soon to tell. I don't know what's gonna go on with it, but for now it lives here on the fridge, and the 1,700 times I walk through the kitchen, I get to look at it and smile because, again, I made that. It's so cool. Having cross stitch in your house is literally so cool because, like, everywhere you look, you're just like, oh yeah, I made that. I made that. So if you don't have any cross stitch on display, this is your sign to finish something and put it up so that you can look at it every day and just be filled with joy and pride. All right. The next spot on the tour is the guest bathroom slash the downstairs bathroom. And you might be saying, Rachel, I don't see any cross stitch in here. And that's because it's Christmas. So I have my wreath up right now because this is arguably a lot prettier than my cross stitch. But when it's not Christmas, I have my fiance's fraternity crest that I made for him for a Christmas gift a couple of years ago. This normally hangs right here above the toilet for everyone to look at when they come over, but obviously I had to replace it with the wreath because it's the middle of December. So anyway, this was made as a gift for my fiance for his office originally, but he has changed jobs, and so now it is home with us. And again, too much time and work and money went into this to not have it displayed. So I have it here in the guest bath. most of the year, like 10 months out of the year. And yeah, it's nice, even though, again, it's not necessarily the decor of the house. It's still nice to look at and be reminded of the hard work that I put into it. We've made it to the last little part of the tour that is in the house, and that is my living room. This wall is directly across from my couch, so I get to look at it all the time because most of my time is in the living room actively stitching. Right now, obviously, we have the tree up, but normally it's just the gallery wall and these floating shelves. And the first piece that I want to tell you about is this gorgeous flower bouquet that I actually thrifted. It's right up here. I'll give you some close-ups of it and how it's styled on the shelf. But I actually thrifted this shortly after moving down here to Kentucky. It was at an antique store that I was visiting, and the initials are RM. My initials are RML, so it felt like a sign. I had to take it home. So I gave it a bath, reframed it, and now it is leaning up on this floating shelf. It's a little out of season. Like I've mentioned, it is December when I'm filming this, so it should have gotten put away, but it didn't. I'm actually thinking this might be a good one to replace Autumn's Glow for the spring and summer, and then I can kind of shift things around when winter starts, but TBD. Not ready to decide that. Thankfully, I don't have to decide for a while. So that is my little floral bouquet. It doesn't have an actual name. I just call it floral bouquet. The next piece is actually behind the tree, so I'll have to insert some clips of that one as well. But that is my succulent. I thrifted this back in college, or I'm sorry, I stitched this back in college, and it's had a lot of homes, a lot of frames. Right now it's in this like 8x10 dark frame because the frame fits with the gallery wall. The piece does not fit with the gallery wall, but it's green, so close enough, and I needed something to go in that spot on the wall because I think it's better than having an empty frame. But someday this will get moved, just not yet. And it's still nice to look at. Like, I've gotten used to it now, so it doesn't stick out as horribly as it once did, but it definitely isn't the vibe of the rest of the space. Finally, we've come to the Christmas tree. I have 4 ornaments on here that I want to show you. All of these have been stitched in the last like 7 or 6 months, so I'm relatively new to making ornaments, but I really like the finishing process. I've been really inspired by needlepoint ornaments that I've been seeing on TikTok and been really excited to get things on the tree. So I'm going to take them off one by one, tell you about them, and that'll be that for the house tour. First up, I've got a fully beaded Mill Hill ornament. I made this for Christmas in July this year, and it's just a gorgeous, like, ornate ornament with red, green, gold, and white. Like I said, fully beaded. It's just finished on the back with some cardboard, and I've had all of these ornaments actually hanging by my front door since July. So these have been just waiting and waiting and waiting to get on the tree all year long. I think this is called Ruby Diamond, but don't quote me on that. Next up, I have Good Friends. This was stitched by me and some of the other girls at StitchCon. Bridget, Cam, Marjorie, Elizabeth, and Maddie. I have shown this in videos before, but again, really quick, it was the StitchCon freebie, stitched on some free fabric that we got at StitchCon from Millennial Fabrics. And we bought just a few skeins of floss and split them among the 6 of us, if my math is correct. And I stitched this up, finished it on some mat board, and used some thrifted fabric, and made an adorable little ornament. This was actually my first ornament ever, like my first ornament finish. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't think it could have gone any better. Next up, we have the Midsummer Stitch freebie. This is from July of 24 for the Midsummer Stitch event hosted by Lindy Stitches. And the girls and I actually got to hold a table at this event this summer, which was super fun. So I stitched this up during the event, fully finished it during the event, and that's kind of become a new tradition now, is to stitch the freebie for the events I go to, finish them up super quick or the same day if possible. But I just stitched this one on some 20 count Aida, and again finished it into a little ornament, this time a square with some thrifted fabric on the back. And I'm really happy with how this one turned out too, and it's a cutie little size for the tree. The last ornament I have is actually from just this past weekend at the Jingle Ball, and this was another freebie. So this was the free Santa pattern for the event, and I changed the colors just a little bit to match my aesthetic and my ornaments, and I stitched it on some pink linen and finished it into this funky shape based on the pattern cover photo. And then it's got green fabric on the back and just like this maroon dark red cording around the edges. This is a thrifted cording I already had in stash, so I was excited to use it. I don't love how the bottom turned out. I was hoping it would separate nicely, but instead it just looked like, I don't know, like someone didn't brush their hair. Anyway, I don't know. I don't love the bottom, but I'm not ready to take it apart and redo it just yet. So it's still on the tree, and it's just, it'll be a sign of my growth as a finisher. But this is the free Santa from Jingle Ball 2024. That is everything I have around the house, all the cross-stitch decor. I do want to mention a few honorable mentions that I have in my office. So first I have all of my little Crochet A Go-Go monthly stitches that I've fully finished thus far, except for January, which we've seen. And I just have these on my desk. I don't even change them out anymore. They're kind of all just there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with those, but that's where they live. They are on my desk and I look at them every so often when I don't want to work anymore. The other piece that I took to work is my Calico House, which is another pattern from my first couple of floss tubes that I made. I finished this on a round finish with cording and lace. Very vintage feeling for me. And again, it doesn't match the decor of my house, but I thought it'd be perfect in my new office to hang right above our coat rack. And I spend like half my life at work, so it's basically my second home at this point. So I thought that'd be nice to decorate my office with. Thank you all so much for watching this FLOSSMAS video, this cross-stitch house tour. I had an awesome time showing you around, showing you the cross-stitch decor that I had. I hope you'll check out the rest of my FLOSSMAS videos and floss tube extras that I have up on my channel for some more cross-stitch inspo, and I will see you all in my next video.